Welcome back to CryptosRus. I'm George. We're all George. As for some of the geopolitical stuff, I guess Ukraine and US has come to some kind of agreement to end the war. Now it's whether or not Russia agrees to it, which they should, because I heard the terms were basically coming from Russia. So I don't see why they would not agree. But yeah, so this is the next thing. If both sides agree, then the war will be over, which would be very good because this has been ongoing for quite some time. Right? I don't know the small details, but the premise of it is Ukraine will lose some land, and they promise to have a smaller army, and they promise to never join NATO. And then Russia will give them a lot of concessions for rebuilding, and that's like the main premise. I don't know about the small details, but yeah. So that war's coming to an end. That's good for almost everyone except maybe Ukrainians, but geopolitically, that would be really good because we have been talking about this for quite some time, and obviously no one wants to see it extended. And of course, circumstances around oil and other things and exports and imports and stuff have been disrupted. Hopefully those things can resume once again. Yeah. And then I saw this too. This is just irony. It's not irony, but it's funny because this is what happens against people that bet against Nvidia. SoftBank recently bet against Nvidia and said, you know what, we're going to sell Nvidia and we're going to back OpenAI instead. There was nothing wrong with backing both, but they just wanted to sell off all their Nvidia to go OpenAI. But since recently OpenAI has, well, investors are worried about OpenAI because of competition, they've been shorting SoftBank as a proxy because OpenAI doesn't have any stocks right now. So kind of payback, so to speak. And Jensen has hinted that if SoftBank didn't have such weak hands, they would be the largest shareholder of Nvidia today. They've been selling off before, and they just sold off everything completely. And they would be much richer and much bigger had they just kept their Nvidia shares. So there's some payback. All right, anyways, outside of that, U.S. Senate is set to vote on the Clarity Bill, which is something that's been pending for a while. We've been hearing about it. Trump's been pushing for it. Basically offers more clarity around crypto regulations and what is what. So if we get that, in addition to the stablecoin bill, the Genius Act, then that's pretty positive overall for crypto. All right. Now, let's talk about ETFs. This is good. This is good because I've been a little worried about all the outflows from BlackRock, right? And whether or not it's going to be a continuing trend. Well, yesterday, it was not. It flipped to the green. And Fidelity had even a bigger inflow day. Even though we still had some outflows from others, overall net positive 130 million. That's good. What we're seeing is a possible reversal from the ETF side, from at least BlackRock side. And remember how I said that there may be something going on with BlackRock and JP Morgan, because JP Morgan was the one that spread all that FUD around MicroStrategy recently about being delisted from some index, right? There's a connection. There is a connection, and that is this. JP Morgan offers some kind of new promissory note through BlackRock's IBIT, and it tracks the performance of Bitcoin, and it pays out like almost like futures or options. It's quite weird. Quite weird. So they have like a potential price target for December 2026, and if it hits it, it'll give like a 16% return. If it stays below that, the payoff becomes much more aggressive. So it's almost like a futures and options based thing. built around the 4-year, or tracking the 4-year cycle, but built around IBIT. See, I knew something was going on between the two. Like all this FUD from JP Morgan, and then you have the sell-off from BlackRock. It's almost like they wanted the market to go down. Now we know. And this may not be the only thing that they're working on together. Outside of Bitcoin ETF, Ethereum ETF was also positive at 78.6 million inflow, and Solana is still very strong, 53 million, 2 days in a row, 50 plus million. No outflow yet. So obviously the demand for Solana is there and it's growing. It's good. And pretty soon we're going to have a lot more ETFs for a lot more crypto out there. And slowly but surely, you're going to see money flow into them. And when the market picks up, there will be massive FOMO into each one of these projects that have a ton of ETFs. Outside of this, what else? This has a lot of people scratching their heads. PayPal is running a big $1 million Holloway giveaway. They posted it on their X, and people are like, did they get hacked? This reads like one of those, like giveaway scams that we have seen before when an account gets hacked. And then they even put Bitly links. Usually a big company doesn't use Bitly links. Okay, they really don't. So like everyone's in here is like, are they hacked? Is this real? Turns out it is real, because if you click that Bitly link, you go to this PayPal.com domain site that says you could win. You could win. One winner gets 100,000, 5 winners get 10,000, 162 winners get 500. And how you enter is you have to at least buy $1 of their PYUSD stablecoin with your PayPal account. So, in case you're interested. I don't know, like I've seen them advertise that stablecoin at conferences. I don't know one person I've ever talked to that said, yeah, I like to pay with PYUSD, or I have used PYUSD for anything. Like, I don't know who in crypto actually uses that stablecoin, but there are several exchanges that also offer it, but everyone's still using USDT and USDC. I don't get this move. I don't really get it.